There is a kind of financial stress that has nothing to do with being poor. It is the stress of always being almost okay. The rent is paid, but barely. The bills are covered, but just enough. The paycheck arrives, and for a day or two, life feels manageable. Then something small happens. A repair, a school payment, a medical cost, a grocery trip that somehow costs more than it should, and suddenly the month feels fragile again. This is the financial life most people live, not collapsing, not thriving, just constantly one surprise away from panic. Most people think the solution is obvious: earn more, and yes, more income helps. But there are people who earn more every year and still feel unstable, still feel behind, still feel like money passes through their life without ever becoming safety. In Japan, there is a quieter way of thinking about money. Not as a way to look successful, not as a way to prove progress, but as a way to protect peace. And that way is built on something modern culture almost hates: limits. Today, we are going to explore 12 Japanese minimalist money rules that do not make you look richer. They do something better: they make you. Financial instability does not always begin with low income. Sometimes it begins with a life that quietly became too expensive to carry. A bigger apartment than you need, a newer car than you can comfortably afford. Subscriptions you barely use, convenience purchases that feel small in the moment, tiny upgrades that slowly become permanent expectations. And then one day, without ever making one huge mistake, a person looks around and realizes something unsettling. My life costs too much to feel this insecure. This is the first Japanese minimalist money rule. Rule 1: build a life that is cheap to protect. A simple life is not only easier to manage, it is easier to defend. When your fixed expenses are lower, your life becomes more resilient. A bad month hurts less. A surprise cost feels smaller. A job change becomes survivable. A setback stops feeling like a disaster. The second rule follows naturally. Rule 2: choose stability over appearance. Modern culture rewards visible success. A nicer phone, a better neighborhood, a lifestyle that signals movement, but visible progress and real security are often opposites. Many people look more successful every year while becoming more financially fragile underneath. In Japan, modesty has long carried a different kind of dignity, not because comfort is wrong, but because showing more than you truly have creates a dangerous life. A financially stable person does not ask, "How impressive does this look?" They ask, "How expensive is this to maintain?" That question alone can change a life. Imagine two people with the same income. One spends to match what other people expect. The other spends to reduce future pressure. From the outside, the first person may look ahead. But 10 years later, it is often the second person who has breathing room, and breathing room is wealth. The third rule is even more difficult in a world built on endless wanting. Rule 3: let enough become a destination. Most people never define enough. That is why more always feels necessary. A better couch, a larger home, a more expensive vacation, a nicer version of every ordinary thing. But if enough is never defined, desire becomes a moving target. And a moving target can never give peace. Japanese minimalism does not say you must live with nothing. It says something more honest: own what supports your life. Be careful with what only feeds your image, because the more you need in order to feel. There is a woman in Kyoto who lives in a small apartment filled with things that look used but cared for. Nothing in her home is trying to impress anyone. The furniture is simple. The kitchen tools are old but solid. Her wardrobe is small, her bills are predictable. Her savings grow quietly in the background. If you looked at her life through modern eyes, you might think she is settling, but she is not settling, she is selecting. And that is the fourth rule. Rule 4: save first, then live on the rest. Most people save what remains after spending, but after spending, very little remains. The Japanese minimalist approach reverses the order. The future is paid first. The present adjusts afterward. Even a small amount saved first changes the psychology of money. It tells the month, you do not get to consume everything. It tells your future self, I did not forget you. The fifth rule is one of the deepest. Rule 5: replace slowly. A great deal of modern spending is not about need, it is about restlessness. We replace working things because we are bored of them. We upgrade useful things because newer versions exist. We refresh our surroundings because familiarity starts to feel like lack. But minimalism asks a harder question: is this worn out, or am I simply tired of seeing it? That question saves money in silence: a chair that still works, a coat that still holds, a phone that still functions, a kitchen appliance that still does its job. A stable life is often built by the replacements that never happen. The sixth rule grows out of that same mindset. Rule 6: use fully what you already own. Most homes are full of half-used wealth: clothes barely worn, products barely opened, tools barely touched, food forgotten in the back of the fridge. Subscriptions paid for out of habit. Minimalist money is not only about buying less, it is about finishing more. Using fully what you already paid for creates a kind of respect between you and your money. And respect changes behavior. The seventh rule may be the simplest, but it protects people from Rule 7: make convenience earn its place. Convenience is expensive because it feels harmless. Food delivery, impulse online shopping, same-day purchases, tiny paid shortcuts throughout the week, none of them seem huge alone. But together, they quietly become a lifestyle. Japanese money wisdom often values routine over impulse. Cooking at home, walking when possible, planning purchases, buying with intention, not because difficulty is noble, but because constant convenience usually makes life more expensive without making it more meaningful. This is the truth many people resist. Financial stability is not usually destroyed by one dramatic mistake. It is dissolved by 100 comfortable ones. If you want to feel stable, you need rules strong enough to protect you from your own moods, because instability is often emotional before it is mathematical. So here are the next 5 rules. Rule 8. Separate needs from emotional wants. A need keeps life functioning. A want can bring joy, but an emotional want pretends to solve a feeling: loneliness, stress, exhaustion, the need to feel rewarded, the need to feel caught up. When spending becomes emotional anesthesia, money disappears quickly and peace never arrives. Rule 9. Pause before non-essential purchases, not forever, just long enough for the honest self to catch up with the impulsive one. A day. Sometimes even an hour. The pause creates distance between desire and action, and in that distance, clarity returns. Many unnecessary purchases do not survive a pause. That is how you know they were never truly needed. Rule 10. Keep your fixed costs boring: boring rent, boring car, boring insurance, boring recurring costs. This sounds unexciting because it is, and that is exactly why it works. Exciting fixed costs create long-term pressure. Boring fixed costs create long-term freedom. A person with boring fixed costs can survive change. A person with glamorous fixed costs must keep feeding the machine. Rule 11. Keep a margin between life and disaster. A financially stable life needs margin, not because emergencies are guaranteed every week, but because life always remains unpredictable. Margin is what turns a problem into an inconvenience instead of a crisis. A small reserve. A little space in the account, a little room in the budget, a little less obligation than your income could technically support. Margin looks invisible when life is calm, then one hard month reveals its value. Rule 12. Stop performing wealth. This may be the most important rule of all. Much of modern spending is social theater. People spend to avoid looking behind, to avoid looking ordinary, to avoid seeming unsuccessful, but performed wealth is expensive. And it rarely creates peace. Japanese minimalist money works because it quietly refuses that game. It says, I do not need my life to look expensive. I need my life to remain stable. That sentence is the dividing line between stress and security, because once you stop performing for strangers, money begins returning to its real purpose: protection, breathing room, choice, sleep. You do not need to move to Japan. You do not need a minimalist apartment with empty shelves and one bowl. You do not need to become extreme. You only need to become more deliberate. Tonight, take a sheet of paper and divide your life into two columns: what protects me, what pressures me. In the first column, write the things that genuinely create stability: savings, low debt, predictable bills, food at home. Reliable essentials, a little extra room. In the second column, write the things that make your life fragile: subscriptions you barely use, payments that impress but do not protect, impulse spending, frequent replacement, convenience habits. Expenses you accepted without questioning. Look at the page honestly. That page is your real financial map. Then do something simple. Choose one Japanese minimalist money rule to begin with this month. Only one. Maybe you save first. Maybe you delay all non-essential purchases for 24 hours. Maybe you cancel 3 recurring charges. Maybe you stop replacing things that still work. Maybe you define your personal version of enough. Maybe you cut one fixed expense that has been quietly draining your peace. Do not try to become a new person overnight. That is not how stable lives are built. Stable lives are built quietly, a little less pressure. A little more intention, a little more margin, a little less performance. This is what many people misunderstand about minimalism. It is not emptiness, it is protection. It is removing what keeps shaking your life. So that when life does what life always does, surprise you, test you, cost more than expected, you are not immediately afraid. The goal is not to look disciplined. The goal is to stop living one surprise away from panic. The woman in Kyoto never called herself financially smart. She never called herself wealthy. She would probably use a simpler word: careful. Careful with what entered her home. Careful with what left her bank account. Careful with what kinds of habits became normal. Careful with the difference between comfort and excess. Careful with the future. And over time, that careful life built something loud money often never builds: stability. So if your life feels expensive to carry, if your paycheck disappears too quickly, if your peace keeps depending on whether this month stays easy, do not begin by asking how to look richer. Begin by asking a better question. What can I remove from my life that keeps it financially fragile? That is where stability begins, not in more noise, not in more upgrades, not in more proof. In less pressure, less performance, less waste, less need to impress. Because a financially stable life is not the life that looks the richest. It is the life that stays standing when things go wrong, and in the end, that There is a man named Daiki. He grew up watching his father work 2 jobs, not because they were poor by any dramatic measure, not because they were in crisis, but because the life his father had built quietly cost more than one job could carry. A car that looked impressive in the driveway, a house in a neighborhood that required a certain kind of maintenance, clothes that matched what the neighbors expected, dinners out because cooking at home felt like admitting something. Daiki watched his father come home tired every night, not the tired that comes from working towards something, the tired that comes from running to stay in the same place. His father was not a bad man, he was not careless. He was doing exactly what he believed was expected of him, and it cost him everything a life is actually for: time, presence, peace. Daiki decided at 19 that he would not live that way, not because he wanted to be poor. Not because he wanted to prove something, not because some financial video told him what to do, but because he had watched up close what a life built on appearance actually costs, and he decided the price was too high. He started working at 22. His salary was not remarkable. His apartment was small and in a quiet part of the city where nobody would be impressed by the address. He cooked most of his meals. He took the train. He wore clothes until they stopped working. He saved first every month before the month had a chance to decide for him. His colleagues upgraded their phones every year. He kept his for 3. His friends moved into larger apartments when their salaries rose. He stayed where he was and let the extra money disappear quietly into an account he barely touched. From the outside, Daiki looked like someone who had not yet figured out how to enjoy life. But Daiki was not suffering, he was building. And here is what 10 years of building quietly looks like. At 32, Daiki has no debt. His savings account holds more than most people his age will save in their entire careers. He works at a job he finds meaningful because he chose it for meaning, not because he needed the maximum salary to cover a maximum lifestyle. He takes one trip a year, a real one, planned carefully, fully enjoyed without a credit card balance waiting at home. He sleeps without financial fear. He opens his banking app the way most people wish they could, without the knot. Without the dread, without the quiet question of whether this month will be okay. He is not wealthy by any flashy definition, but he is free. And freedom, he has discovered, is what wealthy people are actually trying to buy with all the things they purchase. They are just buying it in the wrong direction. Daki's father is retired now. He is okay, not struggling, but not free either. Still watching the numbers, still calculating, still carrying a quiet financial tension that never fully resolved. He looks at his son sometimes with an expression Daki has learned to recognize. Not envy, understanding. A recognition that the path his son chose, the quiet one, the unimpressive one, the one nobody photographed or admired in the early years, was the right one. The path that leads somewhere. You may be at the beginning of that path right now. Your life may feel expensive to carry. Your month may feel like it ends before your money does. You may look at your account and feel that familiar gap between where you are and where you feel you should be. That gap is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that something in how money is moving through your life needs to change. Not dramatically, not overnight, quietly, one rule, 1 month, one honest look at what your life is actually costing you and whether it is worth what it costs. Daki did not change his life in a day. He changed it in the direction of less. Less performance, less pressure, less need to look like something he was not, and in that direction slowly a different kind of life appeared, the kind that does not need to be explained to anyone, the kind that feels like enough because it is. Start there, not with the goal of becoming rich, with the question of becoming free, because a financially stable life is not the life that looks